It's one of the most high-pressure moments in all of sport. The penalty shootout.
He needs to score this.
The stadium goes silent. Millions are watching. And in a split second, a hero is made, or a villain is born.
Zexi fails, and Fulham celebrate at Old Trafford.
But what if I told you that most penalties are missed before the ball is even kicked?
I create chaos. You know why? Because that creates anxiety.
That still lives with me, to have failed under pressure. Professionally, that's probably as difficult as you're going to face.
Gaia Jordan isn't a coach. He's not a pro, but he might understand pressure in football better than anyone else on the planet. He's a professor at the Norwegian School of Sports Sciences, and for over 15 years, he's studied one thing obsessively: how elite players perform under pressure. From the World Cup to the Champions League, he's analysed hundreds of penalty shootouts, frame by frame, uncovering the psychological patterns that separate success from failure. His work isn't theory. National teams, clubs, and top players use it. And once you see what he's found, you'll never watch a penalty the same way again. In this video, we'll break down Jordan's most fascinating findings, from body language to reaction time, and show you real-world examples of what works, what fails, and why even elite players make the same mental mistakes. If you've ever wondered why some players crumble while others stay ice cold, this is for you. June 28th, 2021. France, world champions, are taken all the way to penalties by Switzerland at the Euros. It all comes down to Kylian Mbappe, a superstar, a World Cup hero. But this time,
Has to score.
he misses,
Saved!
and France go out. But here's what most people didn't notice. Mbappe takes under 0.4 seconds from the referee's whistle to starting his run-up. According to Professor Gaia Jordan, that's a red flag. In his analysis of over 500 elite-level penalties, Jordan found that players who rush their run-up immediately after the whistle are significantly more likely to miss. Why? Because it shows panic, a lack of composure, less time to breathe, focus, and mentally commit to the shot. No team has embodied this more over the years than England. Between 1996 and 2018, England were involved in 5 penalty shootouts across major tournaments, losing them all. But when you look at the data, the problem goes deeper than bad luck or poor technique. Jordan's research shows that during this period, English players were by far the fastest to react to the referee's whistle. A medium response time of just 0.28 seconds, the quickest of any team analysed. The best penalty takers? They wait. They control the tempo. They delay their run-up by 1 to 3 seconds, using that moment to settle themselves and fully commit. And the results are quite staggering. Jordan found that a response time of under 0.4 seconds increases your chance of missing by around 20%. No one embodies calm from the spot, quite like Ivan Toney. Throughout his career, he's taken 41 penalties and converted 39 of them. But interestingly, one of his rare misses came when he rushed his kick. A few seconds of composure after the whistle can make all the difference. But slowing down isn't the only way to gain an edge in these moments. So what else separates the best penalty takers from the rest? In his research, Professor Jordan identified something he calls the quiet eye. This is the ability to maintain a strong, steady forward-facing gaze in the moments leading up to the kick. And the data is clear. Players who hold that focused stare are far more likely to score. But when players look away, glancing down, turning to the side, or even turning their back, the miss rate rises sharply. Why? Because looking away isn't just a habit, it's a stress response. Avoiding eye contact with the keeper or looking away from the goal is a subconscious attempt to escape the pressure of the moment. And often, it's a sign of anxiety creeping in, which directly increases the risk of missing. So the next time you step up to take a penalty, set the ball, lock your eyes forward, hold your focus, and never turn your back on the keeper. Shootout's research doesn't stop at body language though. Even your position on the pitch, your role, affects your chances. Across hundreds of shootouts, attackers consistently have the highest conversion rates, scoring an average of 80% of their penalties. Midfielders come next, converting an average of 73%, with defenders managing to score just 68% of the time. It makes sense. The further you get from goal in your usual role, the less natural the moment feels. For strikers, penalties feel familiar. It's just another chance to do what they're trained for. For defenders, it can feel like completely foreign territory. And then there's something you probably wouldn't expect. Celebration patterns. Shootout found that teams who celebrate their penalties loudly, emotionally, with visible energy are actually more likely to go on and win the shootout. The theory? A powerful celebration adds pressure to the next kicker. It signals confidence, momentum and control, forcing the opposition to feel like they're chasing. In these high-pressure moments, even small psychological shifts can make a huge difference. One player's confident reaction can rattle the next opponent before they've even kicked the ball. And finally, not all penalty kicks are created equally. The context of each shot massively impacts success rates. When a player steps up, knowing they need to score just to keep their team alive, facing immediate elimination, conversion rates drop to 62%. But when the situation flips, when the player has a chance to win the shootout outright, the success rate jumps dramatically to 92%. It's simple psychology. Fear of failure is a much heavier burden than the hope of success. While all of the previous factors play a role in shootout success, there's one thing that stands out the most and often gains the most headlines. Mind games. Penalty shootouts aren't just a test of skill, they're a battle of psychology, and players will often go to extreme lengths to distract, disturb, and disrupt their opponents. Whether it's scuffing up the penalty spot, talking trash, or dancing in the goal, the data shows that players miss 10% more of their shots when goalkeeper distraction is involved. And no one embraces distraction quite like Argentina's bold and brazen goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Known for his trash talk, mind games, and larger-than-life personality, Martinez does whatever it takes to gain an edge. In the 2022 World Cup final, it all came down to a penalty shootout against France. The perfect stage for Martinez to unleash a masterclass in psychological warfare. At first, it starts quietly. Martinez steps forward early and takes ownership of the penalty area while Lloris completes the coin toss, almost as if he's welcoming his opponent into his house. As Lloris arrives, Martinez greets him with a handshake. He does the same with Mbappe. This is part of his act, appearing friendly, even charming at first, lowering his opponent's guard before striking later. That contrast between warmth and disruption is calculated. The ambiguity is the tactic. In the early kicks, Martinez keeps things subtle, testing the boundaries with the referee. With Mbappe, he politely urges the ref to check the ball placement. The referee obliges, responding with a simple thumbs up. With Coleman, Martinez pushes a little further, again getting the referee to recheck the ball. The referee intervenes gently, but Martinez has now established control. The penalty area belongs to him. After his first save, Martinez breaks from tradition. While most goalkeepers keep celebrations minimal, Martinez celebrates wildly. Fists pumping, shouting, hyping up the crowd. As we've already seen, strong celebrations don't just signal confidence, they create dominance, boost teammates, and pile pressure onto the opposition. By the time Tchouaméni steps up, Martinez is done with subtlety. He sees an opportunity to grab the ball while the referee isn't looking, and walks away with it, making Tchouaméni wait. He signals Argentine fans to get louder, stoking the pressure. Then, instead of handing the ball over, Martinez throws it away, forcing Tchouaméni to fetch it himself. An open act of disrespect. The referee does nothing. Martinez is fully in control. As Tchouaméni finally steps up, Martinez greets him with a smug smile. Next, as Paredes prepares to take Argentina's penalty kick, Martinez stays proactive. Aware that Lloris might try similar tactics, Martinez grabs the ball himself and hands it to Paredes, not giving Lloris an opportunity to intervene. With France's next taker, Kolo Muani, Martinez turns it up once more. He gestures towards the sidelines, suggesting he's studied Kolo Muani's habits, repeating, "I've watched you." A yellow card follows, but by then, the damage is done. Martinez has won the psychological battle, Argentina win the shootout, and ultimately the World Cup. with Martinez's mind games playing a key role. So how can teams protect themselves against this type of psychological warfare? As mind games have become more common, so too have counter-strategies to help penalty takers maintain focus. One tactic is the bodyguard approach. During in-game penalties, teammates gather around the penalty spot, shielding the taker from opponents trying to distract or intimidate. Even this small act of protection can be a psychological advantage. Then there's the decoy strategy. Chelsea executed this perfectly in the 2022 Club World Cup final. When a penalty was awarded, Azpilicueta picked up the ball and stood on the spot as if he were about to take the kick. Palmeiras players swarmed him, trying to get inside his head. But once the referee had cleared the area, Azpilicueta handed the ball to Kai Havertz, who had stayed calm and isolated from any distractions, and easily tucks away the penalty. After decades of hurt from the penalty spot, one team who's embraced these psychological protections more than any other has been England in recent years. With Gareth Southgate's changes, seeing England win 2 out of 3 penalty shootouts under his watch. In their shootout win against Switzerland, not only did England implement some of the previous tactics mentioned, such as delaying their response time to the referee's whistle and maintaining a forward gaze. Each penalty taker was also assigned a buddy who would leave the mid-circle and greet the penalty taker back into the group after each kick. A subtle but important way to reduce pressure. Contrast this to the Euro 2020 final, where after Rashford's miss, he walked nearly 50 metres back to the halfway line alone, while his teammates stood stiffly, arms interlocked in formation. A visual that felt more like us versus you than a supportive group. England have since changed this approach. Unlike most teams, they no longer interlock arms in the centre circle. Instead, they stay loose and flexible, able to step forward, offer functional support, and reduce the emotional burden on each other. Someone who's also played a big role in protecting his players is goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. Pickford always ensures that he's the one to hand the ball over to his teammates before they take the kick. Something that he also did against Switzerland was re-enter that penalty area together with his teammate, staring down the goalkeeper to create a 2v1 situation against him. Penalty shootouts will always be a battle of skill, but increasingly they're also a battle of psychology. And the teams who prepare for both are the ones who give themselves the best chance to win. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.